I've always wanted to do that. I feel like I have a lot of power in this room right now, so I hope that you'll bear with me as I become a megalomaniac as the day goes on. First of all, I want to say hello to everyone. My name is Jackie Bruno, and I'm your MC this evening, and we want to welcome you to the ARC of Massachusetts celebration of its extraordinary leader, Leo Sarkissian. And I'm told that there is free Wi-Fi because there isn't much service in this room right now. So if you need that to make a donation, that is right here. It's truly to make a donation and not play on Instagram or TikTok. You can do that too, as long as you make a donation. But just because you have that internet, oh, that's that joke they wrote out for me. That's embarrassing, guys. Thank you for writing my jokes, though. I am truly delighted to be with you here today as we gather to honor Leo and the progress that he's made possible. The lives of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and autism and their families all across the state and beyond are undoubtedly better because of all the work, the advocacy, persistence, and decades of hard work that Leo has done. So we are very excited about this tonight. For 33 years, he has led the ARC of Massachusetts, an organization that for the past 7 decades has given a voice to people with IDD, including those with autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and he has supported their families and caregivers too, which, as we know, so many of us in this room are those people. What would we do without the ARC? No other organization in our Commonwealth has had a comparable positive impact on those with IDD, and for the past 3 decades, that can be directly attributed to the man that we are here to celebrate this evening. Page flip. Leo has led the fight to ensure the basic civil rights of persons with IDD, to empower them and to obtain crucial funding for support and services. So it's appropriate that we are in this room tonight, I think. I want to thank all of you, our amazing guests, dedicated donors, sponsors, and tireless advocates who are with us this evening, both in person and at home, joining us on Livestream. I think that means I'm going international. Take that, NBC Boston. Kidding. Your support and passion for our mission really has been key to all that we have accomplished at the ARC of Massachusetts. This truly is a celebration, not just of Leo, but of every single one of you as well. You are truly making a difference every single day for our families and individuals with disabilities, and we are so grateful. Tonight, though, we are here to honor Leo's 33 years of leadership and commitment to creating a more inclusive world for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And Leo has been a guiding light for the ARC and for so many families across Massachusetts, and myself included. My son is now 9. He was diagnosed at 2 years old and 3 months with autism. And tonight he actually was in a play, his dress rehearsal for his play that I'll be performing in this weekend. And that progress, would not be possible without the work of Leo and everyone in this room and what the ARC has done. And I'm just so proud to be from Massachusetts because people came and surrounded us with so many resources. He's really thriving. And in some ways, I always tell him it's his superpower. So I'm really proud to be here tonight because I too know how hard it was to get to that moment, even with all those services. So thank you, Leo, personally. Really, he's made our world also, with that, more people are learning about this, right? So we have a kinder world, a better world, a more equitable world. Leo's legacy will live on through all the lives he's touched, the policies he's influenced, and the progress he's inspired. We are here tonight because he's made an indelible mark on this community, and we are so honored to celebrate him. You will hear a lot more about Leo and how he's changed the lives of countless people shortly, but until then, I would like to introduce the president of the ARC of Massachusetts, Janet Sweeney Rico. And before she comes up here, I'm gonna let her kind of start her way because these chairs are a little difficult to get in and out of, so I wanna make sure everybody has time. Janet defines compassion, caring, and commitment, a distinguished nurse practitioner and academic leader in the field of palliative care and geriatric medicine. Janet has many years of experience caring for patients in long-term care and rehab, inpatient and emergency room settings, as well as home care too. Janet has served multiple terms on the ARC's board of directors and is chair of the steering committee on disability policy and advocacy. She's an incredible advocate for rights of individuals with disabilities, drawing on her own very personal experience caring and advocating for her daughter, Lauren. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Janet Sweeney Rico.
Oh, thank you for those kind words, Jackie. What a night. What a night. I mean, it's just so exciting to be here with all of you tonight to celebrate Leo Sarkissian. I just want to be thanking all of you too for being here. Your presence tonight is a testament to the power of community, collaboration, and shared commitment to improving the lives of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and autism. And we have so many people here tonight too that played key roles in the ARC's success. Policymakers including Elin Howe, Jerry Morrissey, Philip Campbell, Jean McGuire, all former commissioners or assistant secretaries. Representatives Sean Garbelli, John Lawn, and Denise Gerlich, and our 17 chapters. Leaders of the ARC over the decades, including Terry Varnett, Scott Borchardt, Frank Sally, Mary Ellen Mayo, Fred Misilo, who also led the ARC of the US, and Mary Lou Maloney. And though they could not be with us tonight, we really don't want to forget all the incredible contributions of Tracy Atkinson and Dodge Stewart and other leaders from the past. We appreciate the continued support of our individual donors alongside the sponsor agencies who have joined to ensure that our advocacy continues. The Christensens, Nadworny, Mullane, and Haddad families, as well as Susanna Payton. I would also like to recognize our board of directors and steering committee. And if you would, please stand to be recognized. It's really incredible to have an incredible group of very dedicated and committed volunteers. You know, the backbone of the ARC really is volunteerism, and we're so blessed to have them. So I'm sure so many thanks to the celebration committee too for their hard work, and to the ARC staff, and especially to Katrin Abach, the Senior Director of Development and Communications, for all of her work in planning this event. And as well as Brian Cusack, President-elect, who has consistently made himself available for support. So I'm sure I've missed a number of people, but I just want to thank you all for all you do. So earlier this year, the ARC of Massachusetts celebrated its 70th anniversary. Looking back, we can be proud of how much has changed. People with IDD have more opportunities than ever before to live lives in the community, in education, in housing, in recreation and employment. And for the past 3 decades, Leo has led the charge for equity and opportunity. And tonight we thank him for his tireless work and how he has improved countless lives. Leo has dedicated himself wholeheartedly to advocating for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, their families, and their caregivers. His work has never just been about policy or legislation. It's about people. It's about ensuring that every person with disability has the chance to live with dignity and opportunity. I've always been in awe of Leo. Always. How could you not be? I mean, the guy's amazing. His deep compassion and powerful interpersonal skills, his relentless commitment to the ARC's mission, his ability to present several key policy issues to stakeholders in record-breaking time, and his boundless energy with the capacity to be in numerous locations in the state within a 1-day period. Leo, I just don't know how you've done it, really. Leo's legacy is felt not just within the walls of the State House or through the countless programs and policies he helped shape, but in the everyday lives of families who can now access the support their loved ones need. His work has changed lives, created opportunities, and brought about lasting change that will continue to benefit our community for years to come. He inspires all of us to keep fighting for inclusion, equality, and respect for people with disabilities. As we gather tonight to celebrate Leo, it's important to recognize the very profound difference one person can make. Leo's career is a reminder of what can be accomplished when advocacy is driven by compassion, dedication, and a vision for a better future. So on behalf of the ARC of Massachusetts and the Board of Directors, I want to express our deepest gratitude, Leo, to all you've done. And I'm so glad I got through this without crying. Thank you.
I'm back. Now I want to talk about Jim Brett. Since 1996, Jim Brett has served as the President and Chief Executive Officer of the New England Council, the nation's oldest regional business association. Prior to joining the council, though, he served for 15 years as a member of the Massachusetts House of Representatives. He's been a lifelong champion for people with disabilities. In May of 2022, President Joe Biden appointed him to serve as the chairman of the President's Committee for People with Intellectual Disabilities and reappointed him as chairman in 2023. He previously served on the committee under President George W. Bush and Barack Obama, including as a term as chairman from 2011 to 2013. Jim is also currently the chairman of the Governor's Commission on Intellectual Disability and the chairman of the Massachusetts Disabled Persons Protection Commission. And over the course of his career, Jim has received numerous awards and honors in recognition of his achievements and contributions, including being named to the Boston Business Journal's 50 most influential Bostonians. It's very hard to get on that list, I've tried. Kidding. I'm really impressed. With all he's got going on, though, the ARC has been delighted to agree that he agreed to chair tonight's event. And Jim, we thank you so much because it's pretty cool in here. Thank you. Come on up.
A lifelong dream of mine was to become a United States Senator. I feel like the bucket list has been reduced. Leo, I'm not going to cry. Just not going to cry. But good evening, everyone, and it is my great pleasure to be here with you for this evening's celebration in honor of our very special friend, Leo Sarkissian. On behalf of the event committee, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you for joining us to recognize Leo's extraordinary impact on the disability community. It'd be difficult to name someone who's had a greater impact or is better known for their leadership and commitment to people with IDDD than our friend Leo. From the State House to the ARC's 17 chapters to other human service agencies in the Commonwealth to the offices of policymakers, Leo is respected for his achievements, for his knowledge, his lifelong dedication. Before I go on, I'd like to recognize the generous sponsors and donors whose contributions make the ARC advocacy and program possible. Some of them have been mentioned: Tracy and John Atkinson, Vibeke and Gustav Christensen, advocates, Beaverbrook Stepp, Scott and Julie Borkhardt, Center of Hope, Cooperative for Humane Services, Eastern Bank, EY, Hadar Family, Enter Eology, Catherine and Michael Mullane, Nat Werney Family, Raytheon, Janet and Art Rico, Road to Responsibility, and Rockland Trust. Truly, what a list. Your generosity sets the foundation for a brighter, more inclusive future for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and we are truly grateful. Leo, our journey together goes back to the 1980s, when I was a newly elected state representative here in this neighborhood, and you were a tirelessly individual walking the hallways of the State House. I remember how quickly we built a very long-lasting friendship and working relationship And I am so grateful for both. From the very start, I admired your unwavering commitment to advocating for individuals with ID and DD. Your mission was very clear: to ensure that they could live full and fulfilling lives in our communities, and you never lost sight of that. Your legacy, Leo, is extraordinary, and it didn't come easy. You spent countless days and nights and weekends working for what was right. And because of that, your legacy will endure for decades to come. You know, I remember the many times that you came to my office, and Sean Morrissey was my chief of staff, who's here, after having one of your many meetings with Ways and Means and other leaderships, personnel, and you were concerned, as you should be, about whether you had said the right thing or the wrong thing, or whether you caused friction. But I always said, you never really said the wrong thing. Your heart was always in the right place, fighting for what was just. And even when things got tough, during the different budget sessions where they were making cuts, the revenue wasn't coming in as projected, you stood there in the hallway with all the other lobbyists looking for their particular items. You were there for our friends and neighbors who had no voice. They had no lobbyists, but they had you. And you were the secret weapon. Just think, Leo, your fingerprints are on major pieces of legislation. The autism omnibus, real lives, national background checks, Nikki's law, Operation House Call are among the major pieces of legislation that would not have become law without you pushing the legislators to make it happen. And because of what you did, more than 2,400 people would not have had the chance to live in their communities. Just think of that. 2,400 individuals would not have had the chance to live in their communities if it were not for you filing Boulay lawsuits. And tonight, as you listen to all the kind words being said about you, know that you've earned every piece of that praise. You should inhale all of the good things being said. You've earned it. I've often said that in our community, we need heroes. Leo, you, without a doubt, is my hero. Your life has been one of commitment and dedication. And I say this in all sincerity, I marvel. I marvel at your work decade after decade, never losing sight why you were there, advocating passionately for people who most people disregard. You were there saying they deserve what you have: adequate health care, adequate housing, adequate transportation, and yes, employment. But you were always there, quite frankly, to be the conscience for an awful lot of members of the legislature that needed that reminder. But you did that, and you did it every day, and you did it in a very quiet way. Quite frankly, we need you now more than ever. Your work's not done. I look forward to continuing our relationship in this new chapter of your life, and that's exactly what it is, chapter. Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for me and for the disability community. I wish you continued success, much good health as you move forward. Everyone, we all, our entire community, owe you a debt of gratitude for all that you have done for all of us. You truly make us to become better people, stronger people. That's what I love about you. I hope that this evening will inspire all of us to make a donation to support the ARC of Massachusetts as it builds on this very incredible foundation that Leo has built. Leo has championed, continues in the years ahead, driving forward the programs and the advocacy that improves the lives of individuals with IDD. But all of you will have a chance to give later. But please do, and together we can build on the extraordinary work that Leo has given us and ensure that every person, not someone who lives in a red state, not someone who lives in a blue state, every person with disabilities has the opportunity to live, work, and thrive in our communities. Leo, I don't know how else to say it except to say this community is stronger because of your tireless work, and we stand on the foundation that you built. Thank you, my friend and my hero.
What a beautiful speech and so well deserved. Now we are so glad to be joined tonight by Katie Nce. Katie is the CEO of the ARC of the United States, a role she assumed in January of this year. With more than 35 years of experience in disability policy and public and nonprofit leadership, Katie is regarded as a visionary leader who has devoted her career to disability rights. Prior to joining the ARC, she served as Deputy Assistant Secretary in the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services at the U.S. Department of Education, and she's known for her bipartisan and collaborative work, earning her roles including past chair of the Consortium for Constituents with Disabilities. So please welcome Katie Nce.
Well, how lucky am I that I get to follow Jim, right? Yeah. So I started my career in this chamber. I was a young staffer working for Tom Harkin, my home state senator, working on the original Americans with Disabilities Act. But I always came through that door. That was the Democrats' door. That was the Republicans' door. So tonight I came through the Republicans' door, which was the first time I thought it was appropriate, given that our world is bipartisan and people with disabilities come in all families. I just want to say thank you to Leo. You know, I'm the CEO of the ARC of the United States, which I think is the greatest disability advocacy organization in the country, bar none. And one of the first people I met maybe 8 months ago when I was new in this role was Leo, who was nothing but the kindest, most generous person I'd ever met. All I can say about Leo is he's a person of profound integrity. You are not going to find a more decent human being than Leo. And I thought, how lucky am I? I get to work with people like him. So, Leo, I know we've only known each other a couple months, but it has been the pleasure of all pleasures. I'm grateful for your counsel and your kindness and your friendship, and look forward to carrying on as best I can with you in a different role, but I know you'll only be a phone call away, and that gives me great comfort. So thank you, congratulations, and I don't know what we'd do without you. So thank you all.
You know, so much of what I have to say tonight seems like it's getting repeated, but it seems like this is necessary to repeat over and over again for so many accomplishments. So I do not mind doing this at all. And so we really want to talk about how many lives he's changed. It says thousands here, but as a mom who knows that it takes a village in any situation to raise a child, but even more when someone has a disability, it's gotta be more than that, right? I'm not a mathematician, that's why I went into journalism. But I know it's a lot more than that. 33 years of service at the ARC of Massachusetts, from children benefiting from early intervention and those transitioning to adult services when they turn 22 years of age, to even older people with ID and DD and their aging caregivers as well. Some he helped through his direct intervention, as we've heard, while most will never know the person or the organization that fought on their behalf. We know, and we're celebrating him tonight. So I want to encourage all of you to watch this tribute video that you're about to see. It features some of those individuals, along with many of the leaders, colleagues, family, and friends who are very eager to share the important role that Leo has played in their lives.
Dad, welcome to the gala. Paul and I are so excited to be here celebrating you with all of your closest friends, relatives, and colleagues. I can't believe you finally decided to take the plunge and retire. It's been a long time coming, and we're so excited to spend more time with you. And of course, the kids are excited to spend time with their Mets pop.
But I just want you to know, as a guy who spent 16 years in state government in a number of key positions over the course of the past 30 years, you are one of those people who really stands out and who made a really big difference for a community that we should all be so grateful to have as part of our constellation of residents and citizens here in the Commonwealth.
One thing that actually stands out to me is what you did during the pandemic. You know, they say that the real test of leadership is how someone steps up in a time of crisis. And what you did with your Leo Lives, for me, that not only kept me from being isolated, it also kept me informed.
You were one of those pioneering people, as pioneering parents were even years before you, to cut down a lot of trees and break through this forest of misconceptions of where people with disabilities could live, could work, could play, and all that they could do. And you helped to bring that awareness and that success to so many families.
Dear Leo, we first connected with the ARC about 40 years ago when we came to Massachusetts, and we desperately needed to find a program for Daniel, who was then 6 years old. Years later, I spent a couple of terms on the ARC board. You were an incredible inspiration. Like the Energizer Bunny, you work tirelessly to create a better life for the special needs population.
You care about people and you care about the quality of our lives. And especially you care about the people that could be marginalized very easily.
I remember meeting you, Leo, or not so much. It was like I was very confused 31 years ago. James is 33, but I think he was around 2 when he was crawling underneath the desks at ARC, the old ARC of Massachusetts.
After that meeting, I walked down the stairs and said, this is it. I really want to be involved in the ARC of Massachusetts because of you, Leo.
The first time I met you, Leo, you were giving a talk about turning 22. And after the talk, I remember that I chased you down and asked if I could join your board. What you exuded in terms of the advocacy and your strategic vision really resonated with me. And I knew that no matter what kind of advocate I could be for my son, Michael, the advocacy that the ARC of Massachusetts was providing was going to be on a level that I could never envision.
I think the gift that you gave to me, Leo, was understanding that my experience and my story and King James's experiences and story were important and had relevance and could make a difference for others. You helped me to understand that despite my own insecurities, I had something to say, people needed to hear it, and you were going to help me to be able to express those things in ways that were going to be meaningful and could make real change.
You're one of a kind. The scope of knowledge, the advocacy work, the ability to inspire other people is truly remarkable. And it's inspiring to me, not least of which the fact that you never forget a person's name. I truly do not know how you do that.
I consider you a friend and a colleague and somebody that I've always sort of leaned on to get sort of the inside of what's going on in the world of disabilities, particularly in the legislative and the DDS level. And you've never not been there for me when I've called. I really appreciate that.
One of the most impressive things is a lot of people can talk about values and mission, but you also know how to get things done. And you've got things done at the legislature, got things done when we were working on Community First, when Governor Patrick was in play. You worked on consent decree issues and in collaboration with a lot of folks in that plaintiff class.
Whether it involved transportation, housing, healthcare, that's why you were in the State House each and every day, never losing your mission and helping people to live a full life. And I always commented to my colleagues, this man is on a mission, and whatever we can do to advocate on his behalf when it came to budget items, we're there for him.
The one thing I will always remember about Leo's accomplishments was his work on the Boulay lawsuit. It took 2,400 people who lived at home, who didn't think they were going to have an opportunity to be able to move out of their homes into their own opportunities, who live with elderly families, and together they fought through legal, judicial, financial, legislative, and made that happen. That was just a pure artwork in advocating for the needs of people we need in every way, shape, and form.
When we were able to move on the autism waiver, I really very much respected and admired your ability to advocate.
Thanks to you, your leadership, thousands of people have been freed from the institutions and nursing homes and given great lives to support themselves and be part of this community. And your leadership has inspired myself and the other ARC execs, just incredible.
You helped make me an even bigger advocate for disability rights causes. You also helped strengthen my artistic work in the poems about autism and additional topics that I've written.
Leo, what fun we had tackling some of the most challenging problems in the field and always doing it with a sense of humor and this incredible humility you brought to the task. And a good example of that is we would be looking at some of the most challenging and difficult questions. And you always brought this sense of family, what it was like for them, not being daunted by the difficulty of the task, but by the importance of the results.
I can't tell you how happy I was to be a part of this organization, to work with support brokers. I worked for you, with you for 13 years, and they were very, very special years.
I appreciate your working to understand the issues and the people involved, and to take chances on people, perhaps, like me.
My fondest memories of you, they're all sort of wrapped up into one wonderful sort of memory of you as being the most generous and open-hearted individual who genuinely cares for people. So whether it's the person with the developmental disability, the family member supporting that person, staff people who work with them, us as the executive directors who are leading these organizations, you are kind and generous to a fault.
I think you learn pretty quickly that I don't stop for anybody. In fact, I get my way usually a lot of times. And I have to say, you didn't kick me out of the office. Not at all. You tried to talk faster and longer than me, but I didn't let you. And you still invited me back.
In the 25 years that I've known you, Leo, you have continuously proven yourself to be an extraordinary individual. You embody what it means to harness boundless commitment and energy, deep compassion and tenacity to make the world a better place. I've seen it in the powerful presence you've had in my family's life as we raised my daughter, Lauren, in your interactions with the individuals and families you advocate for and those you mentor, and in your interactions with government officials, legislators, and other key stakeholders?
When I think about your contributions to the community, I think about three words: leadership, mentorship, and friendship. As a leader, you've done a phenomenal job understanding the needs of the constituents that you serve, advocating on their behalf, and delivering results. When I think about mentorship, I think about your energy and passion for advocacy and the time that you've spent and invested developing the advocacy skills of others. And as a friend, I think about your ability to listen, your ability to deliver support and advice, and just be a general sounding board.
If my mom were still here, she would say, "Congratulations, Leo. Sorry for all our baffles over the years, but I'm glad you've made it out on the other side and had a wonderful retirement."
Well, Leo, how do you say goodbye to someone like you? 25 years I have known you and respect you and admire you, and I feel like this is not real. We're gonna miss you.
Leo, I don't know what to say. It's been just incredible getting to know you better over the last really almost 4 decades now. We've been through a lot, both personally and professionally. We've grown up together. We've learned a lot together. I've learned a lot from you.
Leo, retirement is real, but it's not real. We know that you're going to continue to do the work that you've been doing for so many years. Learning that you have such a great sense of humor really helped me to draw even closer to you.
What I will always hold in my memory is our many early Friday morning breakfast meetings at Mull's, which unfortunately doesn't even exist anymore, and how over breakfast we would solve the many problems of the world. We would always start with how we both should order something healthy, and then we would quickly make an exception just that Friday morning for the 10th time in a row.
Back in the 80s, when I was raising my 2 little boys, there was a poster. It was called "Where's Waldo?" And after seeing you at so many events on behalf of the Mass Arc, basically I started saying, "Where's Waldo? Where's Leo?" And come to think about it, Leo, you and Waldo look alike.
We met in the lunchroom at Google, and you and Scott had come in, I think, to vet me, to see if I could pass muster to be a board member. Scott and I had a wonderful conversation, and you and I had a wonderful conversation too, Leo. However, I think the fact that there's an all-you-can-eat 24-hour buffet at Google might have provided a little bit of a distraction for you.
At one point, we were at a function somewhere, I forget where it was, and we ended up sharing a room in a hotel someplace. I don't want to really talk about that, Leo. It could be too embarrassing. Your greatest quality, I think, if I can phrase it, is your heart. I think that's the thing I look for in people. Does this person have a heart? Do they have compassion? And I think you bring that clearly to the table, and that is so helpful.
You have been the selfless center of our family, for the girls, for the 4 grandsons, and for me. You have never put your interests first. And I have always felt like the luckiest person to have found my soulmate in such a caring man.
Thank you for your friendship. I think we had a relationship that obviously started in a professional manner, me and my whatever position I held at the legislature, and you as an advocate for the disabled. But I think because of the person that you are, that turned into more of a friendship. And I think that working together, because of that friendship, we were able to hopefully get some good things done and help those who needed our help.
we had a great relationship, and the end results were pretty damn impressive, to say the least. You know, Leo, I think back to some of the major legislation, Nikki's Law, the National Background Check, Operation House Call. Those bills would not become law without your advocacy.
Thank you, Leo, for all you've done, from passing monumental legislation to helping families one by one. You have built and refined the ark and prepared us for the future.
That's why we're here, right? To do as much good as we can for as many people as we can for as long as we can. And you have been an exemplar of that philosophy. So I wish you well. I have a really strong feeling you're not going to disappear from the scene. You better not. And thank you.
Dad, I just want to say how excited I am for your retirement and how much I think about the many years that you've dedicated your life to a cause that you are so passionate about, and the many meetings I've gone to with you and the opportunities I've had to see you and your colleagues, and the many individuals with disabilities who have, worked very, very proudly and bravely to continue to advocate for the rights that they deserve. I just think you should be so proud of the many years of service you provided, and you are well deserving of a super fun and enjoyable retirement.
Congratulations, Miss Pop.
Yay! High five. Yay! Woo! We love you.
We love you.
With great honor, the man of the evening, Leo Sarkissian.
Wow. 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 All right. I really can't say enough about how I appreciate this. Come on. It's okay. Thank you. I got the message. And I appreciate it. And I so appreciate it. I so appreciate it. I was thinking, is James White still here? I don't know if he's still here. James, your first time coming out was at one of our legislative events, right? After the injury, after someone rammed your damn vehicle while you were at the gas station, right? And those kinds of experiences, that experience, and the experience with the people you've heard about tonight, friends in this room, I think I've done a pretty good job of conning you and thinking that I've been working when I've actually been enjoying this journey with you. And you've really helped me, The gains that we've had has been the gains for our community. And yeah, I'm going to stay on time, I promise. It's been a journey together. We've had this journey together. Many of you, and yeah, I am honored by this. I got to tell you, and so let's put that over here. I so appreciate it. Thank you, okay, number one. But whether you're here as a family member or as a self-advocate or as one of those great policymakers, whether in administration or the legislature, that have been our champions and gotten stuff done, because guess what? We need you to get stuff done. Or whether you've been staff at any level or one of my CEO colleagues who's gotten stuff done, right? That's been a journey we've been, and by the way, some of you are friendly bystanders, and that's okay too. We like that. We need you because we need the world to get educated. We're here because we share in this journey some common values. Acceptance, which leads to equity, inclusion, including the embrace of close relationships, really full inclusion, meaningful work or activities that allow for continual learning. That's what we all want in our lives, whether, we have a disability or not. Disability is human. It's part of humanity. So my early experiences brought me here. A cousin who needed to be watched, and I was 15, and guess what? I got to watch him. Happened to have Down syndrome. He's running around the damn room, you can imagine, right? And that exposed me. That helped me understand. Volunteering at a day activity center because somebody took me along. I have no idea why I said yes. You know, and I took a couple of semesters once a week and went with him to volunteer. I was in college. Or that year off I took before graduate school to work at a community clinical nursery. And for a few months with teenagers with autism, what did I know? You know, I had no idea. Taking someone to the bathroom for the first time, you know, who was 6'2". I had no idea. I'm telling you more, I had no idea. I've been blessed. I have really been blessed to have these experiences. I've been blessed to be at the Ark. And before I talk about a couple of things, I want to do a shout out to my family because I won't get that done if I don't do it now. So before I talk about our community and our victories, I want to say to my wife and my daughters, Heather and Haley, and their spouses and families, and my sister Sue and Ray and Robbie and Karen who are here, thank you. You know, I love you guys. And I want to put a plug in for early intervention, the Head Start. Alex Chatfield was here or is here, right? Big. And I want to put a plug in because I was in the informal Sarkissian family Head Start. I had some advantages that others didn't. We were an immigrant family, but we had some unbelievable advantages. I was blessed, again, being born at that date and time in the 60s in New York City with a family and older sisters and extended family. And that's why I believe in publicly funded young services, whether it's early intervention, Head Start, whatever, because everyone needs a Head Start. And if you don't, guess what? If you don't have good bootstraps, let's not make believe you can pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And that's why I believe in these services. Sonny was his name. I promised you I'd get into this. But we didn't know that. That was his nickname. And we didn't know that because when we picked him up from Rentham State School, his name was different. In fact, he moved into a ranch house in Scituate. And I don't know if the Glennons are still here, but Anna also got to live in that house in Scituate. 3 people. So we had an open house. You have open houses. And the board members came and the family members came. And Kathy was here, her mother was there, and I think Maria Plant might have been there too at the open house. And suddenly somebody goes, Sonny. Well, Sonny, by the way, had been mute for years, okay? Older man. He had been dragged, we find out, kicking and screaming from his house the day his mother died and taken to Rentham State School. And because of the Ark, and I didn't know this, by the way, I had no idea the Ark of Massachusetts had a role in this. Because of the consent decrees and the community plan, Sonny, 10 years later, was moving out of Rentham back down the street from his house, that these people knew him. His eyes lit up. And yeah, he didn't become this verbally excessive guy later, but guess what? He evolved just because he was back home. And I'll call her Gladys. Perhaps she was 40, I can't tell you for sure. Some of you from the South Shore Ark days might know her, might remember this. She was an only child, and her parents kept asking, what's gonna happen when I die? Will you take my house? You know about this, Phil and Sean and Jerry and Jim, you know, will you take this house? Anyone who's an exec knows this, right? I just need to know what's gonna happen to her when we're gone. Well, his wife dies. And obviously there's a lot of stories like this. I'm telling you this one because it's just, you know, so endemic of these stories. Then he's alone, the father, with the daughter, getting maybe a few times a week of home care. A guy with his daughter, right? She needs to be bathed, whatever. Just give me a clear answer. What can I expect? What can we do? Can we have a plan? He dies. She gets to move into specialized home care. He never knew the answer that he needed. He needed a certain answer, and I'm not saying he was right or wrong. They kept saying, don't worry, we're gonna take care of Gladys when he's gone. But you know, it's a vague answer, right? Gladys did move into a specialized housing situation. She had a decent transition, I can tell you. But imagine if she had that transition while Murray was his name, was alive. So we knew, not just me, you knew, those of you that have grown up with me, and a number of you here have, that we had to do something, right? And I'm going to use that example because I only have so many minutes. And I want to use the example, and Neil McKittrick's here tonight, Kathy Costanzo and Steve Schwartz are here. Hillary's here. Hillary Dunstan is from DLC. Hi, Jillian. You're here tonight. With the law centers, the 90s became the decade for us, right? Terry Barnett, Fred Mislow, Mary Ellen, of course, getting screamed at by someone from the state institution. That was the decade for the legal work. And it established us in a certain way, right? Because thank God for Jim that we'd have the legislators only meetings, but we were stuck. And we needed to do something else. So we had something, one of the suits the governor loved because he wanted to deinstitutionalize the state schools. The other two were waiting list suits. And obviously we needed lawyers to do that, right? And between Boulay, and Boulay was referenced earlier with the 2,443, I think is the right number. Neil would know for sure. And then on top of that, the Roland that CPR and DLC did. And then basically those three actions resulted in us moving ahead in that decade into the 2000s. And that wasn't all, because Bill Henning was here. We were fighting for PCA, personal care attendant services too, that people could have those who needed surrogates. So that was a decade of sort of, okay, branch, figuring this out, figuring out how to sort of mark the ground that people with disabilities needed to be seen and heard. And I'm pretty sure that was a period when James, too, had to struggle to get PCA services, and along with others. What a time, what a period. It was not a small effort to advance those things. And I can't help but track these victories, these events, by the people, the volunteers, the staff, the people with disabilities who were partners on it, who were personally impacted by it. That's how I can't help, it's interconnected, okay? And today we're stalled in a challenge in the modern home and community-based era. We are stalled, unfortunately, okay? Post-COVID, we need to shake things up again. Luckily, I have a successor who's been with me for more than a decade, who's going to do a pretty damn good job of leading that fight, Mora Sullivan. And what I'm really, what we forget about is so easily is Biden's American Rescue Plan that added 10% of support from the federal government. It's not just individuals alone. It's not just the bootstrap alone. It's the public resources during a crisis. Well, I have a long list of stuff I could tell you, and I'm not going to do it because even though it wouldn't take a long time, but there's things from those early years. You've heard a lot about the most recent years, some of the victories. We haven't talked about our workforce report and ADDP and the collaborative's efforts in 257 and our role in, really influencing a huge 10% increase right before COVID hit. But there's so many things, so many areas that collaboratively we have to work on. And we're going to continue to work on the new leadership, the new organization. We're lucky we're part of the ARC because that's what life is. It's local, it's regional, it's national, right? That's how it is. And we're lucky we have this movement. Tonight is about our large extended community, although I appreciate, again, this honor. I told you that one of the things was the kids I worked with at a community clinical nursery. They were 3 to 7 years old. Post 766, by the way. Jenny with quadriplegia was 3 years old. John with autism was 7 years old. Today, Jenny would be 51 years, and John would be 55 years old. Pretty wild, right? And I saw John when he was a Boy Scout, but I haven't seen him since, and I haven't seen Jenny in decades. And I wonder if their lives have progressed the way they would like. I wonder if their families feel like their lives have progressed the way they would like. And those teens, one of the teens my wife happened to work with too, he happened to die of a heart attack when he was around 50. We went to his wake, got to see his mother, and we were pleased to know that in the last years of his life, he had had a transition, and he had lived in a community residence successfully. And she was sad that he died, but she was happy. She was happy that he had that opportunity. My early experience brought me to this community with open eyes and gratitude to advance not only services and people's lives, but working with others, working with you, everybody here and others not here, to achieve justice and equity. They're interrelated. Our work at the ARC is not some disconnected public policy. It's not something light and billowy, like a fringe thing, an extra credit thing that you don't really have to have. Its meaning is in everyday human terms. And though Sonny never really fully regained his voice, he enjoyed the last years of his life in Scituate. And his staff engaged him in the community. Sonny was back home. Thank you.
You know, I have hosted a lot of events in my time, and I've never hosted one quite like this. And I just feel so honored to be here. So thank you for inviting me, and thank you for all you have done. It's truly incredible, and I mean that deeply. Next up, though, this is a hard one to follow. Jean Phelps has more than 30 years of experience in the intellectual and developmental disabilities field, including 16 years as CEO of Encompass Human Services, a chapter of the ARC of Massachusetts. And she is widely recognized for her dedicated efforts in championing the rights and inclusion of individuals with intellectual disabilities and developmental disabilities. And under her leadership, Encompass has expanded and is contributing to more inclusive and accessible community. She also serves on the ARC of Massachusetts Board of Directors, so please welcome Jean.
Thank you, everyone. Oh, I'm so short. Leo, that was amazing. And we're going to make you come back up here in a second. It's been my distinct pleasure, actually, to be on the committee planning this event this evening, and we're so thrilled and happy that you all are here. Earlier this evening, there was a group of us in the corner talking with Katie Nce about the ARC family in Massachusetts and the affiliate chapter network, and all my colleagues are right here. And we explained to Katie that we love each other very much, we care for each other very much. We're sort of a family, and like a family, we're a little bit dysfunctional. And that's actually a good thing. And as we were planning this, one of the things that we said is, we'd like to give Leo a token of our collective appreciation for his leadership of the network of ARC affiliates and also of the board of directors. And many of you, if you've attended the events at the State House over the years, know that the gifting of a piece of art is a very moving and endearing memory of that event. So Leo, if you would come up here. A bit of a story, because again, we are that family. We reached out to Communitas, one of our ARC affiliates here in Massachusetts, because they run an art program. And we asked if one of their artists would be willing to take on a commission to create a piece of art that we would be able to give to Leo that would exemplify how we feel about Leo. That was the only instruction that was given to this artist. His name is Patrick. He's very shy. He is not here with us tonight. He is an individual with autism who has served in that program, and on his own, in the most amazing way, he captured who Leo is for us. He'll always be our Superman.
And I love that he got the mustache just right, right? How did nobody talk about the incredible facial hair this man has? It's truly impressive. And now with, who's taking over, right? Who is following in this man's footsteps? Not an easy job, and as you can imagine, it could be challenging. But fortunately, the ARC board knew the choice was clear, and they voted unanimously to appoint Mora Sullivan as CEO. Now, Mora will begin leading the ARC on November 2nd. But before that, for a decade, Mora has been a dynamic force within the ARC as the Director of Government Affairs and Operation House Call. Mora is a well-respected advocate whose work alongside the community has led to significant legislative achievements, including the passage of bills such as Nikki's Law, police training in autism, accessory dwelling units, and many others. She's experienced Operation House Call to all medical expanded Operation House Call to all medical schools in Massachusetts and brought the program national recognition. At the State House, Mora has been instrumental in securing increased funding for the Department of Developmental Services budget and the direct support workforce. Now finally, Mora is a dedicated mother of 3 incredible children. 2 of her sons have autism and intellectual disability. Mora's professional and lived experience uniquely positions her to lead the ARC into a new era. Join me right now in welcoming Mora Sullivan.
Hi, everyone. What a magical evening. I'm so happy for you, Leo. Thank you, Jackie, for such a warm introduction. I am so honored to just be here with all of you, but so incredibly proud to serve as the next CEO of the ARC. I'm so grateful to the board and to the chapters, to Leo, of course, and to this amazing community to which I am incredibly and deeply connected to. It's just a wonderful privilege to be the first parent of children with disabilities to lead the ARC since Pearl Hurwitz, our founder, 70 years ago. And the ARC has come a long way since Pearl, but like Pearl, I'm here to amplify your voices. And really, I've been doing that already for the last decade on Beacon Hill, but now I get to lead the ARC with the passion and grit that I know so many of us approach our parenting journey with. But tonight, I'm thrilled to celebrate my extraordinary mentor. Leo, we've been so busy. I haven't really even thanked you enough. Your leadership has left me with everlasting inspiration and so many others. But you're passing the torch to me with pride and with hope. And that means so much to me. I also feel hope. I feel it in the power of our community. And I thank you all for your growing engagement. It's so important. Through our statewide survey, you told us overwhelmingly that the workforce crisis continues to be your top priority, including better trained staff, especially for those with high needs. We know that you need meaningful programs and choice and opportunities. And my team is working hard on all of that right now. They're engaging the governor and her administration, and we're preparing our platform for the next legislative session. There's just so much to do, and I'm not going to be shy about asking for your help. That's another skill of a parent of children with disabilities. So get used to me asking for your volunteerism, your advocacy, and your generous giving. It's essential. And let me tell you one reason why I'm confident in our collective impact. The Arc of Mass team. They're here tonight, they're dynamic, they're committed, and they're prepared to do the work in front of them. They're the reason why we will continue to deliver through thick and thin. Can the Arc of Mass team, all of you, please stand and get some recognition, please, and continue to stand for a minute. Everyone from the Arc of Mass team. Stay standing for a minute. And I also want to recognize the people behind the exceptional work of Operation House Call, the Massachusetts team and the Connecticut team. Please stand up. I know some of you are here. Thank you. And Advocates for Autism of Massachusetts. I know there are a few of you here. AFAM, 20 years the ARC and AFAM have been together, doubling our power on Beacon Hill. So thank you for sharing in our mission. So our fund need tonight is actually very straightforward. Please support our advocacy, education, and outreach. And I have an ambitious request. I'm aiming for 100% participation in donating to our mission. Thank you if you've already done it tonight, but if you haven't, Jackie will tell you all the ways that you can give. And I'll close by sharing, as the incoming CEO, I feel urgency. And I aim to get that workforce crisis in our rearview mirror, eliminate archaic policies that aren't serving us, and continue to bring legal and social change for the benefit of all citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And looking around this room, I trust this community, our legislative champions, to stand with the ARC as we power ahead. Thank you all so much.
Beautiful job, and what an incredible leader for this next era. I'm so excited to see everything that you guys are able to do to build upon the success so far. So to do that, now I come in and make another ask, another mom asking for help, so you can't say no. So whatever amount you can give, whether it's $5 a month, $500, or $5,000, all of it will make a big difference in how the ARC is better able to deliver ongoing results. And we are building a future on the foundation that, of course, Leo established. So won't you make a gift to support the ARC's ongoing work? Remember, if you had the Wi-Fi password, you could do it right now, or you can do it on your way out at the table in the lobby. That's another great way to do it. I hear there's gonna be cookies out there. So, if you take a cookie, you gotta donate, right? No shame. And you can also, you've seen those envelopes all around tonight. You can also use the form in the envelope that you might have received at registration to do so too. But again, that is also another way. You can text, oh, Leo 33. It's like he's on Dancing with the Stars, guys, but instead it makes a donation. So truly an incredible opportunity tonight to make a difference in your own way, in whatever way you can. And we thank you so much. And finally, you know, relentless advocacy for people with intellectual disabilities, developmental disabilities, autism, it all requires us to step up and be a part for change. And you really are a crucial partner. You can have a positive impact on the lives of tens of thousands of people in your neighborhood across the Commonwealth. And in this year of transition, your participation is even more important. So many thanks to all of you for being here tonight, for giving of your time, your donations, your sponsorship, and thank you to all the 17 chapters of the ARC and others who support advocacy as well. You are all why, I know we're here for Leo, but everyone here, as he said too, are why the ARC has made such tremendous progress. So if you have not already done so, please join them and be part of one of the most impactful advocacy organizations, not just in the Commonwealth, but in the entire nation. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening.
So you're all getting ready to leave. I want to thank you again for coming tonight. And while this evening marks a significant milestone in Leo's journey, it's also a celebration of the work that continues, thanks to the strong foundation he's built. As we look ahead, we are inspired to carry forward his vision and his commitment to the individuals and families we serve. An exciting new chapter is unfolding at the ARC. Under the guidance of our new CEO, Mora, the ARC is poised to continue and expand the critical work that has made the organization a beacon of hope for individuals with disabilities and their families. As you heard earlier, Mora brings decades of experience in advocacy, policy, and leadership. She has a deep understanding of the challenges our community faces, and she will work to strengthen partnerships, secure vital resources, and lead innovative initiatives that will benefit our communities statewide. Thank you all for being part of this special night and for your ongoing support of the ARC of Massachusetts. Together we will continue to build on Leo's incredible legacy. Thank you all.